So sorry, I'm a little bit sniffy, so please forgive my voice. But here I am today with some journal making. I gathered 4 books so I can use the book covers. The inside comes out in one piece, and I always try to save the inside cover pages. In this case, these are white pages. Now, I also would like to make a new spine. The reason is that often the spines are rather flexible, and that's fine if you sew in your signature. But because I use an elastic binding, I need a strong spine. So this is just a piece of cardboard, and if the book closes nicely like this, you have the right size. If it gaps open, then your spine you're replacing is too wide and you have to cut it down. Now, by reusing old books and the covers, the basic structure of the journal is pretty much done for me. I need to do a little work on the inside, and then I need to think about how to decorate them. So for 2 of my journals today, I want to use these acrylic paintings I've done on stretch canvases. I cut them off the frame and they make perfect covers. I really enjoy reusing paintings in this way, as you also get that nice texture of the canvas on the book cover, which I think is really attractive. So I have 2 different ones I will be using on 2 of the journals, and the process for these are super simple. So I will start first to show you the little bit of work I do to the inside of the book. Now this is one of the other books, but the principle is all the same. Again, a new spine, and I use my tacky glue. Then I cut down one side, and usually I pick up the other side and slide it a little bit underneath, but in this case the book wouldn't budge. So I cut it to size just to cover up the spine, but now the other side of the page I can glue across the spine to make it all more stable. So by doing this, I use the existing paper, I strengthen the spine, and I give myself a nice flat surface in the inside of the cover. After I have taken this step on all the journal covers, I can then concentrate on decorating. This interesting tissue paper of a city map, which was actually part of a fancy box of shoes, will be the background for one of my journals. Now the process from here on is very simple, so I let you listen to some music and I will talk to you in a wee bit. So all of my journals are done. Let me give you a close-up look of this one we did together. I love the vintage photo of the shoe shine boys and all the textures I was able to create on the little frame, the beads, the string, the paste, the little label. And I think the map was just a lucky find and a nice way to recycle. Now the string or ribbon has different shades of gray, and here in the inside is the fabric you saw me add earlier. Now the part of attaching the signatures I didn't show in the video, but let me give you a quick look. It's very simple. So the two signatures I added are made from old-fashioned ledger paper, and here you can see how I attached the elastic band. Two holes at the top and bottom of the spine. The elastic band goes around, gets a knot, and is ready to receive two signatures. Now the beauty with these type of bindings is of course that the journal remains very versatile. You can replace the pages with art papers or whatever papers you need. You can rearrange pages. And so that's one reason I call these infinite journals, because they can last you for a long time. Now I make these all in very similar fashion. The basic design is the same. Of course, I try to come up with different cover designs and use different materials inside and out. So I went ahead and did a second one off camera. I used again a piece of paper. This was newspaper with a house print on it. Then I used acrylic paint to give it some coloration in a very distressed manner. And then I added a doily someone had sent me in the mail. It has this really nice teal gray color to the paper. I cut it in half, so I was able to use half here on the front, as you can see, and the other half is on the back. And I was also able to wrap it around the edge just a tiny bit. Here at the back I used a bookbinding tape to strengthen the spine and cover up the original title, and then a piece of ribbon here, and I used the same for the closure. For a bit of a focal point I added the silver jewelry heart. It has a nice flowery design with a tiny blue stone matching the doily. Here on the inside I used an interesting fabric. It shows wine corks, and otherwise the signatures are the same. I think there's one ledger paper and one plain paper, but again two signatures. They're pretty thick. There are a lot of pages in this and in all the journals. So those two were done in very similar fashion, and of course there's no end of possibilities how you can decorate journal covers. And now to my two canvas covers. I glued both of them down using gel medium and then cut the edges to fit the size. I added closure. This one has a seam binding, which is the perfect color to the inside. Now this inside was made from the original paper, and I used the paper I cut off to create a couple of pockets. The first one is here on the front. It also has a stamped design of an arrow, and then I made another smaller pocket on the back, again with a little stamped design here on the top. Now whenever I'm able to use the original papers, I do seal them to make them more durable. Now using a canvas painting for a cover makes the process of creating the journal much faster, but of course you have to consider that the painting also took time to complete. So next is a book with a flower design canvas. Same way I attached the cover on the outside, and it has a brown ribbon closure. Now here on the inside, the original pages were white and kind of boring. So instead I added some craft paper, which has this cork design, and I also sealed everything and was able to make a little pocket. Now when you use paper, you have to do it in different pieces. So there are 3 pieces to this inside paper design. That is also one reason why I often use fabric, because with fabric you can use just one piece to cover the whole inside of your journal. So I really hope that this video inspired you to give journal making a try. You can definitely keep it very simple. You can go more elaborate, all depending on your style and time available. Now, if you're not into journal making, these journals of mine will be eventually available in my Etsy store. I had hoped to have the listings already today, but I'm fighting this terrible cold, so there will be a little delay. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. I see you soon again, and bye bye for now.